If someone knocks on your door at 3:12 a.m. and when you check the doorbell camera, there's no one there, don't open the door, just ignore it. Because last winter, my neighbor Daniel Carter did open his door, and 2 days later, his entire house was empty. Not abandoned, not robbed, just empty. The furniture was still there, lights were still on. His phone was still charging on the kitchen counter, but Daniel was gone. No signs of struggle. No footprints in the snow. Nothing, except for one strange detail the police never explained. Every night before he disappeared, someone knocked on his door at exactly 3:12 a.m. and now it's happening to me. My name is Ethan Holloway. I live in a quiet suburb just outside Columbus. Small houses, wide streets, streetlights humming at night. It's the kind of place where nothing strange ever happens. Last December, Daniel Carter lived 3 houses down from me. He was in his mid-30s, worked remotely, a quiet guy. We'd talk sometimes while getting the mail. Normal conversations about the weather or football. Nothing unusual, until about 2 weeks before he disappeared. One evening, Daniel knocked on my door. He looked tired. His eyes were red, like he hadn't slept in days. He asked me something strange. "Have you heard anyone knocking at night?" I told him no, I hadn't. He hesitated for a moment, then said, "Someone knocks on my door every night." He paused. Same time, 3:12 a.m. At first, I thought maybe it was just kids messing around, a prank, but Daniel shook his head. "I checked the doorbell camera," he said, his voice low. "There's nobody there." That night, after he left, I checked my own camera recordings out of curiosity. Nothing. Everything looked completely normal. Until 2 nights later, at 3:12 a.m., my phone buzzed with a motion alert from my front door camera. I opened the app, my heart pounding a little. The porch light was on, and snow was falling lightly. But the camera had detected motion, and then I heard it through the phone speaker. 3 slow knocks. I stared at the screen. No one was there, just the empty porch. I rewound the footage and watched it again. The knocks happened, clear as day, but nothing had touched the door. There was no shadow, no movement at all, just a sound. The next morning, I walked down to Daniel's house. Police were already there. 2 cruisers were parked outside, their blue lights reflecting off the fresh snow. Daniel had been reported missing. His sister hadn't been able to reach him for a couple of days. The officers were asking the neighbors questions, going door to door. One of the officers told me something that made a chill run down my spine. Daniel's front door had been found open, just slightly, like someone had stepped outside. But the snow on the porch was completely untouched. There were no tracks leading away. That night, I stayed awake. I sat in my living room, watching my phone, waiting. The street was silent, no cars, no footsteps, just the quiet electrical buzz of the streetlights outside. Then my phone vibrated, 3:12 a.m. motion detected. My chest tightened. I opened the camera feed. The porch was empty again. Snow was drifting slowly down. Then 3 knocks, slow, heavy, but the door didn't move. Nothing touched it. It sounded like the knocking came from the other side, from inside the house. I quickly muted the phone, my hands shaking. I sat in the dark, in complete silence, and waited. Then I heard another knock. This time, it came from my back door. I grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen drawer and walked slowly toward the back of the house. The entire place felt different, too quiet, like the air was thick and heavy. I pulled up the feed for the back door camera on my phone. An empty yard, the fence, a fresh layer of snow covering everything. Then movement, a shape. It was standing near the fence line at the edge of the yard. Still, it was too far for the camera to see clearly, just a dark, tall outline. It wasn't moving at all, just watching the house. My phone buzzed again in my hand, another motion alert, but this one was from the front door. I quickly switched cameras, and for the first time, I saw someone. Someone was standing on my porch, facing the door. But the camera image was glitching. The figure looked blurred, distorted, like the lens couldn't focus on it. I zoomed in. The person was wearing dark clothes, their head slightly tilted to one side. And they weren't knocking. They were just standing there, waiting, then slowly they turned their head toward the camera. My stomach dropped into my feet, because the face staring back into the lens was Daniel Carter. The police said that wasn't possible. Daniel had been officially missing for 2 days. His phone was off. His bank accounts were untouched. There had been no sightings anywhere. But I showed them the footage from my camera. The officer watched the clip 3 times, his expression unreadable. He didn't say anything for a long while. Then he finally looked at me and asked one simple question. "Did you open the door?" I told him no, of course not. He nodded slowly. Then he said something I wish I had never heard. "There's something you should know." He pulled out his own phone and showed me another video. It was from Daniel's doorbell camera, recorded the night before he disappeared. The video showed someone standing on Daniel's porch, not moving, just waiting, and after about 30 seconds, Daniel opened the door. The camera caught a clear view of the visitor's face as the door swung inward. It was me. I was standing on his porch at 3:12 a.m., perfectly still, staring directly into the camera, but I had never been there. I was home, in my bed, asleep. I knew I was. The officer paused the video. He zoomed in slowly on the image. And that's when I noticed something terrifying behind me. In the reflection of Daniel's front window, there was another figure, standing inside his house, watching us both. And every night since then, at exactly 3:12 a.m., I still hear the knocking, but now it comes from inside my bedroom door.